Previously on The Day Tripper, Chet and crew tripped out to Big Bend National Park, a land of vast beauty and infinite horizons. After a morning spent exploring the desert floor, the team set out to reach the south rim of the Chisos Mountains. But after a victorious climb, an unwelcomed visitor came to camp, scaring Chet to the edge of a cliff and the edge of his sanity. Will he survive? Let's find out as we head back to Big Bend.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, what's up, man?
Oh, good morning.
How you feeling?
Tip top.
It was good. It's a good night.
Cool. Is Chet in there too?
I don't know where Chet is. Have you seen Chet?
I haven't seen him.
What?
Hey, Brad. I think I heard something over there.
Guys, let's
go check it out.
Oh my gosh.
Mommy. Mom. There he is. Chet! Chet! What are you doing out here? What happened? Get out here. You been out here all night?
Well, I guess. Where am I?
You're in Big Bend, Chet!
This episode was made for y'all with the help of our awesome partners. Check the caption for more info. Big Bend! Part 2. Today we are back in Big Bend National Park, a remote stretch of Texas that's hours from any major town, but well worth the journey to get here. We've hiked all over the park and now find ourselves camping on the south rim. Like camping. See, he laid down, he's camping. Although truthfully for me, it wasn't so much camping as it was clinching on for dear life. A little bit of a rough night sleeping on the ledge, but I'm excited about today. So I think we can pack up camp and make our way down the mountain. So after one last moment in camp to say goodbye to our friendly hosts, and one last moment to take in the south rim, and down the mountain we go.
Well done. Well done.
You know, it's always neat to hike trails in reverse. You see some of the same landmarks, and they always look kind of different. And the greatest part, now you just get to go down.
And back down the trails means a trip back through Boot Canyon.
Guys, I might be changing my mind. Maybe that's a boot upside down, not the top of a boot.
Been saying that the whole time.
So evidently this wasn't adventurous enough for Brandon that he had to drink water out of a stream. An added element of excitement because it could mean you're on the toilet for the rest of the afternoon. Like, what do you have? What is this thing?
It's called a life straw.
It filters it as you drink?
Yeah, filters as you drink.
Can I try it?
You get a little texture because every once in a while you suck a snail in.
Now, most folks only think desert when they think Big Bend. And the reason this looks nothing like a desert is because we are up in the high altitudes of the park, in a mountain range known as the Chisos.
A little detour that we're gonna take today. We're gonna dump the packs and then take about a 3-mile round trip to the highest point in Big Bend. Should be fun.
And that point is Emory Peak. It's been towering over us ever since we arrived in Big Bend. And now it's time that we tower over it.
Yeah, let's take off our packs. Let's grab a little bit of food, carb up a little bit, get some water for sure, and then we'll stash all our packs in these bear boxes.
Yep, bear boxes. Specifically designed to keep their furry little paws off of your food. Cause, well, it's bad for the bear and very bad for your pack.
You race to the top?
Sure.
Might as well.
Whoa! My leg! Yeah, I quit.
That was a bad idea.
No racing.
You see Twinter? His stride's about twice as far as ours.
You know, he's like a gazelle.
Like a gazelle. All right. Plus, we gotta film it. I gotta take the camera.
You know, when you're already hiking 12 miles, taking an extra 3 doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it is. The hike up Emory Peak is a strenuous march in the blaring sun.
Check it out, guys. Right up there.
Pretty tall.
That's it, Emory Peak. You see that radio tower on the top? That's how you can spot Emory Peak from just about anywhere. It looks further than I hoped it would. But the trail, I guess, is gonna wind around and then switch back up. You know, it's sort of like George Mallory said when he set out to attempt Everest. They said, why do you want to climb that mountain? And he answered, because it is there. If it's the tallest, then why wouldn't you go and stand on the top of it? Woo! I can't even imagine building all these steps. Props to the trail crew. They did a great job.
And the climbing toward the top only gets steeper. But hey, that's the fun part, right?
Believe it or not, this right here is actually the trail. And you can kind of scout around and find the easiest route, but truly, it's all 4 points climbing right here. Man, I feel like we should almost be roped in and harnessed. Yeah, who needs that stuff?
Woo! Finally, all our hard work pays off. 7,825 feet above sea level.
It's definitely not a hike for those that are scared of heights. Woo! Don't look down, Chet, don't look down. I know, getting up the Pinnacles Trail is already hard enough, but if you make it this far, you gotta push for the extra few miles to get to the top of Emory Peak.
I feel like I've redeemed myself a little bit as a Texan. Finally coming to Big Bend.
When you come to Big Bend, there's no place like it. It's breathtaking.
I've said it a bunch of times, but there's some views that no picture will ever do justice. Thank you, Lord, for making Texas so beautiful. There's more for us to explore. Dude, that totally tastes like whatever you ate just a while ago.
And if you see those clouds coming in, well, that's a sign it's time to get down.
What's up, Daniel?
Hey, what's going on?
We've been hit with an unexpected afternoon storm. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to hike in the rain a bit.
The crazy thing about the desert is that the rain can vanish as quickly as it arrives. And perfect timing too, because we are just finishing up our adventure.
Oh, man. I'm proud of you. Well done.
Nice.
That was a long one.
Oh, no kidding.
My feet hurt. I could use a foot rub.
Hey guys, all right, look, I see you
no.
guys made it down off the mountain, man. That's really good.
Wow.
I can tell you guys are like really strong and stuff. I can tell by your abs and think, like great teamwork. I thought you did a great job up
How
there.
did you get down here so fast, Ben? You were just up there.
Oh, well, you know what's awesome? There's a series of caves, and then the other half of the time I rode my favorite bear. You owed me a favor. I'm real knowledgeable about that stuff out here now.
Dude, this guy is not going away. He's everywhere. Everywhere you don't want him to be. That's right. What is with him?
I also do full body rubs, and I could really
Definitely not doing that.
Hey, Ben,
What?
you know what we could use?
anything, man. Tell me.
Cheetos from the store.
Cheetos. You gotta make sure you stay hydrated. Now, maybe some chapstick, because your lips are looking just a little bit chapped there. If I could take a close look. Anything else, I can get you guys like
Yeah, we do. Lip balm, Cheetos,
lip balm.
Gatorade.
Electrolytes are super
We'll meet you at
important
the bench.
out on the trails, man. So like you could really use me out there. I get part of the group. I'll find you guys up there, man. Don't worry. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'll be fine.
All right. So we've been in the Chisos all morning, but now it's time to leave the highlands and head toward the Rio Grande River, winding 118 miles around the park, and we're headed to the Boquillas Hot Springs.
And I've been to the park a handful of times, and I've only explored, about this much of it. And that's what keeps bringing me back every time.
It truly takes a lifetime to explore Big Bend. And one of the reasons is because this isn't really the place where you can just hop between destinations. It's so massive that it can take hours just to drive across the park.
Wow. So we're heading through the desert and making our way toward the Rio Grande. Man, but this is an adventure in and of itself. Oh, a couple more feet that way and I fall off into a giant ravine. You feel like you're just on a foreign planet. Here we are, guys. Let's grab our suits and towels. Head toward the river.
Boquillas is truly a desert oasis. The hot springs actually used to be part of a resort, and many of those old tourist camp ruins are still here.
Man, there's so many stories out here in Big Bend. Like this old ruin, I have no idea what it's from. What's absolutely wild is that people lived out here in the desert. They made their life in this land, this like rocky, tough, dry land. FYI, if you come walk around ruins, make sure to check around every corner for rattlesnakes. You don't want to sneak up on one of those bad boys.
Wow, all right, now look down at this stuff. So the people who made all this stuff live in Mexico, so it's all for sale over here really on the honor system. These are all sort of like little handicrafts that people walk across the border, and they bring it over here to sell to tourists. And they're pretty cool. However, I do have to warn you that it is illegal to buy this, because technically it's contraband. You know, down here in Big Bend, the border feels like an abstract concept all to itself. And there's evidence that folks have been enjoying this area long before there was a US, a Mexico, or any concept of borders at all.
Whoa, look, dude, pictographs. It says they're high on the cliff face.
Look at this over here says there's petroglyphs.
So what's the difference between a pictograph and a petroglyph?
So that's a pictograph. A pictograph is when you paint on the rock, and a petroglyph is when you chisel on the rock.
Okay, cool.
Pictograph, petroglyph.
Different art for different folks. Finally, our hike has arrived at the springs. Although it looks like the day's rain and a little flash flood got here before we did. Last time I was here, the springs looked like this. Come on!
Anybody want to go swimming in chocolate milk?
Yeah, this is why they call it the wild and scenic river. Like, it's unpredictable, and what's bad for our TV show is actually really good for the desert and the whole river valley. But man, that's it. Buried underneath, a couple feet of muddy Rio Grande River are the hot springs. I was really looking forward to getting in those, man. Man, my aching muscles could so use a soak right now, but turns out it's not to be. Just shows you that the desert and Big Bend are unpredictable.
We now interrupt this programming to remind you to like and subscribe. Now back to the road.
There's still so much to do inside the park, but in the interest of kicking back a little bit, well, let's head to a town that's just outside the park border.
All right, so it's been an excellent day in Big Bend so far. We got a great hike in, top Emory Peak. So I think it's time we step outside the park and reward ourselves a little bit. How's that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, so we're headed to Terlingua. But wait, oh no, who's this? Is that Ben?
What?
Oh man, let's see if he needs help and then get out of here.
Come on.
Ben!
Hey!
Ben, are you okay out here? I just
Totally
wanted
fine,
to,
yeah.
we saw you, just making sure you're okay, and then we're gonna go on our way.
Oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm out here getting what do you call it? Rattlesnake eggs.
Okay, I didn't know that you could do that.
Oh yeah, I raise them.
Okay.
I raise them into pups. Rattlesnake
Oh,
pups.
is that what you call a baby rattlesnake?
Well, that's what they asked me to call them. So I figured be respectful.
Okay.
Y'all aren't leaving the park, are you?
Oh,
The park is great. The park will take care of you for years.
Oh,
Y'all
right.
aren't leaving. Hey, great.
Hey,
if you
maybe
stay.
we should tip this guy.
Not the 10.
Not the 10. Yeah, good call.
All
Hey, Big Ben, tip for you. Thanks for your time.
As long as you guys are coming back.
Big
now.
Ben, we'll be back.
Or not? Okay.
All right. Yeah. All right. Hey, we could discuss when you're coming back. When you're coming. I miss those guys already. I love you too. They'll be back. They all come back. Back to Big Bend and back to Big Bend.
Goodbye, Big Ben. We'll see you next time. Or not. Yeah, probably not. Onward to Terlingua, which sits less than 10 miles from the Western Park entrance. Famous for its chili cook-off, well, this town is more than just a bowl of red or any one festival. Physically, it sits along the edge of Texas, but metaphysically, it's on a whole nother plane.
Every time I come here, the place gets stranger and stranger. There's a pirate ship and the top of a submarine. That pretty much sums up Terlingua, which is to say, it's kind of unexplainable.
If you thought Austin was weird, or maybe even nearby Marfa, well, you ain't seen nothing till you see Terlingua.
I mean, they're living in teepees, they're decorating their cactus to be people with top hats and mustaches. This is crazy. There are all these old ruins from way back in the mining days, and then there's the modern people who are sort of coexisting with this ancient past.
With the discovery of quicksilver, or mercury, in these mountains, well, Terlingua began its boom in the early 1900s as a remote mining town. At one point, over 1,000 residents lived here in these stacked rock homes. It was a tough life, and this historic cemetery continues to tell their story of life and death in the Terlingua Desert.
This cemetery kind of feels like a movie set, doesn't it? I mean, some of these graves are so old, they don't even have tombstones, just sort of wooden crosses. If you look back, some of the dates are from the 30s when
there was really a thriving mining community down here, and even before that, really. Evidently, there was a big flu epidemic in 1918 that wiped out a large part of the population of Terlingua. A lot of those are probably the graves that don't even have dates on them. Well, eventually the mine stopped producing and the town was given back over to the desert. However, in the 1960s, a group that can only be described as nonconformist hippie cowboys rediscovered this town and remade it into an iconic destination. They re-inhabited old buildings with stores and restaurants. And while it thrives on park tourists, for locals it's a special place to disappear from the rest of the world. And the main social venue of town is the porch, where even tourists can mix it up with the real Terlinguans. But play it cool, all right? You don't want to look too touristy. Hey, buddy, can I trouble you with a beer? Okay, cool. So this is the porch, huh? We just kind of look out at the mountains. So what's your name, amigo? The name, Desert Dog. Cool name. Is that your real name? Rule number 1. Never ask a man his real name in Terlingua. Okay. Then, where are you from, Desert Dog? Rule number 2. Never ask a man where he's from in Terlingua. Okay, no names, no backgrounds. Any other rules I should know about? Why, yes. Rule number 3. Always accept free beer from tourists. All right. Cool. So we're gonna hang out now? Now quit talking and stare at those mountains. Is that your dog, Desert Dog? Oh, awesome. All right, well, I guess I'll just sit here then. I mean, this town is for the laid-back types, right? However, all tourists, both traditional and non-traditional, can find something they like in the Terlingua Trading Company. This is like the most eclectic general store in Texas. Kind of feels like you've crossed into a border town. I need to wear more feathers in my wardrobe. What do you think?
Spin
Yeah,
for me,
totally.
turn.
You like it?
Kind of like.
Do you do double feather or single feather?
It depends on how hot the sun is or which way you're driving. Because they're like blinders. You know?
Oh, that's right. Some kids, when they were little, like to sleep with teddy bears or maybe little cute kitty cats. Me, I always love sleeping with my good old turkey vulture. Aw, nothing sweeter than a turkey vulture. But all this time today, and we still haven't had a proper meal. So without a doubt, we are headed to the Starlight Theater. And while today this place has a roof, it got its name because it used to be just 4 adobe walls with nothing but God's stars above serving as the roof. It was a place to gather, play some music, enjoy a beverage, and tell tales as tall as Texas. So I suppose in that regard, not much has changed. This is Lisa Ivy, who with her husband Bill owns this entire ghost town. I've been to Terlingua like a small handful of times, and I have trouble kind of explaining to people this place. So how do you do it?
I don't know. There's something magical about being in the desert, and you either feel that or you don't. There's not a lot of iffy about whether I want to go to Terlingua or not.
Right?
It is.
Love it or
it
you
is.
hate it.
Yeah.
Well, I must be on the love it side.
Well, I'm pretty much on the love it side.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
How long have you been here?
I've been here now for 27 years. The beautiful thing about people that live here is everyone that lives here wants to live here because it's not easy living. And so the people that live here love it here and they want to be here, and that makes a really beautiful community.
It's a unique community for sure, like one that will elect a goat as their mayor. And when it dies from a drinking habit, they'll stuff it and put it in the restaurant. Whew. Rest in peace, Clay Henry. Rest in peace. But even I must confess that there's just something wonderfully fascinating about this place and all these people. Not to mention the Starlight's food, which includes dishes like grilled quail, Axis burgers, and chicken fried wild boar.
We want to give people Texas flavors, but make it interesting as well.
Sure.
We don't want to be trendy, but
It's
we want to
chicken
be
fried.
fun. It's chicken fried. You can chicken fry anything, even a wild boar.
Yeah. Wild boar it is for me, boys. But of course, when in Terlingua, you know I gots to have my chili. You know, in the place that has the most famous chili cook-off in the world, I had to start with a little cup of red there. Oh yeah, really good. That's good stuff. I don't think I've ever had wild boar before. I had wild boar sausage, but never like a wild boar steak. Look at that. Wild boar, the other white meat. Oh, that's solid. That's really good. I mean, if you just told me I was gonna eat an insanely delicious cutlet of pork that had been deep fried, I wouldn't know any different. Because this is awesome. There's something just innately manly about that. Eating wild boar in the middle of the desert. It's awesome. How was yours, guys?
Really good. Awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah. Love it.
You hadn't eaten anything yet, though.
No. You asked us how it was.
I'm just enjoying watching you eat.
Yeah.
You have my permission to eat now.
Okay. Thanks. Appreciate that.
Thank you for your patience. So the crew and I will polish off these plates here for dinner. But after we finish, we're gonna cruise down to our last stop. It's a dive bar where one must literally dive underground to step into the caves of La Kiva. Man, this has got to be the most bizarre bar in the state of Texas. Look around. You would think that La Kiva meant the cave, but it actually means meeting place. Even though this whole thing has, stone walls, stalactites hanging from the ceiling. I mean, it kind of feels, truthfully, like an underground dungeon a little bit. In a way that only Terlingua could pull off. Cauldrons full of bones. It's a family type of place, Fossils on the walls. I mean, you're gonna have to come learn about this one yourself. But this is a very, one of the lesser known dinosaurs to have ever walked through the Terlingua area, right there. Man. La Kiva has always had its strange sort of fame. But as you may know, in recent years, it has become more infamous for the tragic death of its former owner in the parking lot. But there's a new owner in town who's loved this place for many years and is now carrying on its many traditions. Englishman Robert Holroyd. And was this a place you had come many times before and sort of in love with it?
We first came here in 1981 and it just about blew my mind. Well, this place looked like it was going to end up just a pile of rubble in the desert. See, this was the first bar, the first restaurant. This was the first community center. This pulled together all these disparate elements, everything from total dropouts from society to nuclear physicists. They all congregated here. And so I committed some of my retirement. Here we are today.
Here we are. A place, still a meeting place, though, for the community.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. Thank you, sir.
It's been a great pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now let's get these to your guys.
What a trip. There's a spirit out here in Big Bend that defies all description. It lives in the mountains and in the desert. It is rock, water, and sky. It finds you in the time spent with those you travel with and in the quiet moments alone on the trail. It joins you as soon as you enter, and even when you leave, you can never shake it. Because as soon as you do, it begins to call you back to the desert, back to the biggest part of Texas, back to Big Bend. All right, so I'll see all y'all out on the road. Bye con Dios, amigos. Cheers. Ah, what a trip, huh? Woo. So, where are you from, amigo?
Why don't you ask me my name first?
It's a good point, amigo.
Yeah.
Thanks, Desert Dog.
Still rolling.
All right, ready? Look at this. This is why you don't pack Reese's in the bottom of your pack.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you got me alarmed.
You got larva finger right there.
Let's talk about what we just discussed here because you had to do some things on the fly.
So we're doing the old day tripper switcheroonie, which is
make it up as we
Which
go.
looks like this. This is the day tripper switcheroonie.
So we're cutting Boquillas, Mexico. We got flooded out of the hot springs. We got flooded out of Santa Elena Canyon, and instead we're subbing Terlingua. Sounds like a good
Let's
plan
make it
to
up as
me.
we go.
Anytime you get to Terlingua, it's fine by me.
Great. So somehow I end up in this outfit.
Richie's always the best sport right here.
Mm-hmm. He keeps tugging on my beard.
Your name is?
Actually, my name is Ben.
You're pretty big.
Big Ben. If you want, I do accept tips.
Howdy, y'all. Follow along with my adventures at Chet Tripper on Instagram and at The Day Tripper TV on Facebook and YouTube. Or head to thedaytripper.com for travel guides, past episodes, and info on our mobile app and Team Day Tripper. This episode was made for y'all with the help of our awesome partners. Check the caption for more info. Howdy, y'all. Chet the Day Tripper here. Thanks so much for tripping with us. Remember, while you're here, like this video, subscribe to our channel so that we can stay out there on the road and keep on tripping. Did we miss anything in this town? Leave us a comment, let us know. We love finding out about new stops with all of your tips. And if you love Epic Texas Day Trips, remember to check our channel. We got a lot of them on there. Also, don't forget, if you want some sweet Day Tripper merch or another cool Texas-made product, come see us in Georgetown at the Day Tripper World Headquarters. You can also shop online if you check the link down there in the caption. All right, y'all. Bye con Dios, amigos.